Limits and Horizons, poems by Vlad Neagoe. Much death, much life are comprised into the tender darkness of night. The misfortune of humankind gives birth to a shadow. He arises like a naked beast into the despondent clearness of day. Clouds are falling in dream. No one can see them. At twilight, stars are burning silently as flakes. We flee furtively to their breath, to things' force, stronghold for cogitation, holding and rendering to form, earth, sea, skies, stars, solitude and tranquility, numberless multitude, sounds, sights. Is everything for us? But I still remain in air, and you, my soul. No, it wasn't everything encompassed in either life or death. This way you speak, caught into the void of a square. Snowing clouds, winds are falling. Silently the cogitation is becoming clear, but no appearance is looming. The same matters you should disavow, that make you free from your shadow into the place where your reality is boundless. The whole living universe, wrapped into profound eternity, is flowing. Soon one of your shadows is influential and vanishes into her deep root, murdering gods, abiding in us. Their crime will that we should become their bread, the vessel of totemic fears, staring as far as possible the sand, on the verge of wave. All this before living universe reflecting into poetry was born. To strange voices you serve as way like an animated love, admiring herself, budding, painful flames are smothering, pining for an appearance and flesh, but all resounding voices are extinguished in turmoil. Did they encompass all things, and days are passing into a bitter ecstasy, under the despondent comfort of the voice, ruthlessly resounding in remembrance, and thrilled as destiny, beatifying their pieces fallen alive into the blast of universe eternal trembling. And devil yawned, and earth shook. Meanwhile smoke is puffing, and our tears are dropping on the watermill that remains still. In his and Peace's bosom, after a veil life as a gully agape, like a yawn, like a precious conundrum. The one, that yawn and the nothing, buried for so many days, lower his shadow and he has no sign. Not the least for a long time, you can hear almost nothing, like aged elephants.
Go ahead.
Whimsical and warm, your mouth out of buoyancy is blasting storms of napalm, ready to turn into caresses. The peals of laughter, jesters, are unthreading my gait on a seemingly endless path. I am the spirit of the world. I am reddening the universe with my flames, which inspired me. A flood of blaze at an eternal wedding of orbs. Everything is flashing. The lights ready to smite the warp are gaining angels' wings, as light as ridiculous cupids, with their funny arrow aimed at the ring, at the lowest state, and there is no space where you may fall. This is the great humiliation wearing away the earth for ages, the great humiliation of the nothing, the indifference of solitude, of the disappeared, now wide awake. No pace. The paralyzed horizon spread around me above boundless expanse of water, above endless sands of beach invaded in a gentle breath of far away, and abyss as a cup that is filling with an unbearable sensation, serenity and sensitiveness, joy and dream descend into us, and the motionless flame is a barely found treasure, raises the horizon that impossibly is withdrawing in a rush towards the whole perfection. Wings in ripple of water, the void sky on the eye of lightning, the vulture taking his flight off the wet rock, finally towards light. At last, no season fascinates. There is the shadow of memory, and the thirst for lonelier spaces grown thin to the last shade, to the absence of wish, alike of the grain of sand. You suffer from her pervading everywhere, and she addresses to none. Once catastrophe bursts out, and you're secretly bleeding. All of gems touch the time. Neither one nor other fetters you, but this ghost only the hue of ice spread on air, as a thin skin may redeem you. A treacherous hand is pounding a leaden nail in the heart. Somewhere it bends, somewhere irony cracks wood, somewhere the law of universe stirs a storm, somewhere man is nearby. Gorillas have got bored with mimicking Tao Dao Buddha, the broken winged souls inclined towards evil, and the breath looking at haggard gorillas, bloated birds, pierced by time, resurrect the inner smile, but it's always grinding itself, extirpating flowers. Life, shadowed in golden moments, slips through smiling cobwebs. Hung to ourselves, we mark the gentle roads with blood of exhilaration, of heavens and nightless hell's perspiration, as a devil's yawn. We touch the beauty that sleeps everywhere, having fresh desires, like Saint Hildegard, into an error dreamt, encountered with every airy crystal-like moment, a naked set of diamonds between the eyes, looking at one another, from Hades into paradise, beatifies the whole world with clear water, as we are seen dimly from silence in some gentle melodic breaths, scattered in space, and touching her we melt into a sudden fire, come from all far away into the echo that starts again among us. We pass through reeds, among those of our kind bearing our happiness, that tests our endurance to eternity, in this square as a newly found treasure. Your trite, shamelessly hoarse, meaningless eroticism carries you into empty syllables of a beast, into a world of paws and claws, and worlds where dogs are howling as if at a corpse, and your voracious eyes remove the sun in the sky. The hollow of your body is any time ready to scorn the dogs aflame. Your vivid blood brings them together, covers the desert, and nothing left behind will ever be able to leave any remains or traces. You were ashamed of passing among people, to have learned from dogs to save your honor. For how many times did you shut your saint's lid, you, my beloved, you worn garment, who are trumpeting laughing? The inferno is a present topic, and we cannot but remember the well of the paradise. The mad dog, Bran Taher Adair Brandenburg has returned behind the bars. It's Good Friday, and he was life sentenced to live and die in front of a mirror, which paneled all the walls of a cell. Master of his own death, he doesn't confine himself to live where the soul exists, indoors or outdoors. Remembered things, guessed things, unspoken things, thrown to multitude by a bird's voice. He filled the waters of the mirror. He shows them his tongue, distorting them. Negotiated things, still undone, which first came as a hectic sexual desire, howling out of many open holes. I still don't know whether it's the shrill of the sea, Walter, or the soul, or the regret. Simple symbols of inferno. They were falling like meteors, as a fiery rain into the moonlight of the soul. It smooths the holes where they sleep, awake and cry, in marketplaces full of dung and people hungry for howl, hungry for rending each other. And the mad dog falls asleep as a baby into a jackdaw's nest, high in the foliage of the great oak, above the old abbey. And that one who looks with mouth agape into the parallel mirrors is a bust of stone, stripping the apparel of infernal symbols, bringing glory by blowing his nose, by spits, by blasé air fouled by a cigarette smoke, or the totterer, inciting the psychosis of arresting by the gait of his assless back. The people are breathing his breath in squares. They die of their own breath, and the mad dog is re-reckoning the time, which he needs to return to present. What will announce the dogs with the crown dog's heart with expensive lordship's bones, as a lion with golden mane.